Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. This is going to be a dueling book video, a non-custom duel, but in this duel I'm not the one dueling, it's going to be 3D and Nook 1. So the whole purpose of this video is to show you how broken Link Summon actually truly is, even with the new Master Rule and with with them not being restricted because of Link Summoning. It was way more powerful, but it's still the deck's still a contender as it is right now. I don't know, it may not just be archetypes, but Link summoning in general as a mechanic. So this is when Malicious was still unlimited, and it's to show you just how broken the deck truly is. So I could assume he's playing a hero warrior deck. So you'll see just how busted this deck truly is. While Malicious at 3, then he will activate Assault effect. So to be real, his deck is very interesting because this card is really bad, honestly, in my opinion. But he was able to resolve its effect and be able to banish monsters and then get a counter. So that's the reason being why it sucks, is because of how slow it is. If you draw into it, if you draw it late game, it doesn't do you any good. So he special summons Hero Kid using Assault effect, and then Hero Kid, when it's special summons any Hero Kid monsters from the deck to the field. So basically 2 extra free summons. He'll go into a Link summon. So I'm assuming this is when Summon Sources wasn't banned, and it was still unlimited. But now, reason why this is what this card was literally the reason why it was even banned in the first place, because it was just too generic, too good. Allows you special summon a monster from any monster from your deck for free as long as you follow the requirements for the cards that it targeted, depending on the cards that it targeted. So the card itself was just absolutely broken. So people really underestimate how good this card is, and I feel like it was justified to ban this card because not only was it too generic, and then as I said, he gets his 3rd Malicious. Since this is the time when it was still at 3, now it's semi-limited. So from here on out, I could assume he's going Saryuja. Gonna fast forward, and then he draws 4 because he used 4 monsters with different names, and he has to put back 3 cards from his hand on the bottom of his deck. So I can kind of see a Rage Quit coming. I can kind of predict it right now. And then he adds back Divine Sword. As far as the card's not banned, because you can pretty much keep bringing it out from your grave to your hand. If you have the right requirements, banish 2 warriors, add it to your hand, and it's just non-stop. So it's more than you do more than once. So Armageddon Knight's effect activates because you special summon what's Saryuja's effect, sending a dark from the deck to the grave. Let's fast forward. Plague Spirit's effect, turning 1 card from his hand to the top of his deck, special summoning it. It's banished. And then we'll trigger Hailstone. I'm not sure why he summoned Balmong, but it's a level 4, I assume, because maybe he's trying to rack up certain synchro monsters. And then Plague Spirit's effect activates again since it's not a once per turn effect. And then he'll go into, I assume, another synchro monster by level 6, just Coral Dragon. And then he'll go straight into Stardust Warrior. So from here on out, he has a negate. So possibly what's going to happen is that he can at least stop one of his opponent's special summons. And then he resummons Coral Dragon. And then hopefully try to find a way to summon another. So yeah, he summons a non-tuner and a tuner. So I can see where this is coming. He's going to go for Ultimate Zulkin. And this is where this card is really broken. So he sets 1, and which is very clever. Setting the Phoenix Blade will be able to resolve. He'll be able to resolve Zulkin's effect, allowing him to special summon 1 level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro monster straight from his deck from his extra deck to the field, as long as level 7 or 8 or a Power Tool Dragon. So here, this is where the effect will activate. Let's fast forward. So he goes Crystal Wing. From here on out, yeah, even if he does summon Card Trooper, it's not enough. He still has a lot to do. Because right now, with the Infernoids, he is Lightsworn, so and even when he does manage to summon something, he will be able to negate it with his 2 cards. Yeah, and from here on there, yeah, and that's how broke. That was to showcase how broken Link summoning, and it was very quick because pretty Link summoning at the time was very mandatory, and it was the only way you can go into certain. That was the only way you can go to non-Link monsters, including pendulums, because because if you might not realize, Link summons were created to pretty much slow down the game, but you realize that wasn't the case because it was a failure. Because although it may have made pendulum summoning a lot harder. It may have taken away the spam of having to place that many monsters on the field. It still affected several decks that didn't deserve it because they thought maybe Link summoning was the easy way out of letting people know that if you really want to summon really strong monsters from your extra, can say how free it is, can say how easy it is. You pretty much had to go into a Link summon if you wanted to get so many extra monsters up. For some people said it definitely sucked. People hate it, and that's why we have the Master Rule. And for sure, Master Rule is definitely one of those games that changes a lot, especially now that you don't have to heavily rely on Link Summon, and now people can play the way they can and build their own decks. Because reason being why Link Summoning was so bad and people were against it, because that's why they changed it. Because it literally people were forced to change their decks the way deck building is now. Like now is pretty much people can play their own decks without having to heavily rely on it for it to be competitive. Yeah, you get one extra deck monster besides a Link monster, but it was truly unfair. It was mainly a quick cash grab from Konami. Like and I'm just trying to get into details because like people disagreed that this shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have really been a thing. It shouldn't have affected with every other deck out there because it affected it all, the majority of decks, almost every deck, single deck, every single deck that used the extra deck. That's how I'm trying to describe it, and so forth. With Master Duel, I feel like now people don't have that worry about argue about the issue because the only thing Link summoning has affected was pendulum summoning. Because apparently pendulum summoning was the problem. Obviously, it was just the restrictions wasn't. It didn't have enough restrictions. It was too free because you could basically spam that many monsters for free. Like it was easy, like it was nothing, by simply sending two pendulum monsters right into the pendulum zone when they really should have been in the spell trap zone, considering they are treated as spell cards as face up on the field. But because now that you have them as monsters and spells, it makes sense that they should be forced to spell trap cards because a person should not have an extra spot on the field because it just makes the game that much unhealthier and seem that like unsure of whether it will fix the game state because pendulum summoning needs to be limited to the point where it can at least it's not always taking over because if those decks are taking over because that means like it will like not only do pendulums punish the players a lot, but people feel that like the majority of the fan base, the player base, will feel that in order for them to actually compete playing you, they have to rely on pendulum summoning, which in this case is not how they have to worry about it because now it only affects pendulum summoning. And now that now that the link monsters do not apply to extract monsters that are fusion, synchro, exceeds, so people can freely summon those decks and then be able to play the way they're supposed to operate because you realize there are decks that can't operate using link monsters because they don't summon enough monsters. As you can, if you were to get, you would get what I'm saying if you were to actually play Yu-Gi-Oh right now. And again, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on your Switch, PC, wherever. If you have the simulator or whatever, it's up to you if you decide to. But this is just me showcasing Duel so that you have a better understanding of the game. Also, be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.